Welcome back to the Beantown Boys podcast. Now, we took a week off, and for a good reason. Our good pal, Dylan Heward, was watching the film. All right? He was watching the film. I saw him in the film room. I saw him.
I was so behind, I had to take a week to catch up.
Yeah,
Definitely,
it was a lot of
was
film.
Not delayed because me and Leo were, gonna record. Push through without Dylan, but then I may have
Forgot what day it was.
May have forgot what day it was.
That's not what happened.
Drove home.
Guess
That's
what
definitely
day it
no.
is.
That's nothing.
Out of
Sounds like
all the
nothing
things
that I would do.
that happened, that's the one thing that did not happen.
Yeah, no. So what actually happened was there was a werewolf at my house, and I had to slay it.
I saw it. I saw the film.
I got hit by a
Exactly.
hurricane. I don't know how you.
You were in the film
You
room,
are
bro.
the hurricane.
With the hurricane going.
A minute in.
Yep.
Minute in.
It's not a film without
Our-
a joke. So
we're already
what's
at
new?
Is that a new record?
Dude, we're already at Denny's. We're a minute in and we're already at Denny's. We're already there, bro.
He was at the OV
I'm
circle ahead
up
of
at
time.
4 a.m. every day, and I don't go to bed till 11. Tired as shit, but I'm still able to keep it, okay? I still
Yeah,
got
man.
it going.
There it is. So let's hop right into it. The NHL. Well, more or less the players, I would say, not the NHL, but the HDA, the Hockey Diversity Alliance, formally requested that the NHL consider suspending games for today, which is August 27th, and tomorrow, there it is. Yep. See, you're a little behind. Yep. Yep. Well, they are doing the suspending of the games today. I think they're doing them tomorrow. I only saw one report of that, so I don't know how accurate it is.
They're probably going to do a meeting again tomorrow and figure it out.
Yeah. But I think it's good, to be honest, because hockey players never do anything.
You know, are they going to do like a little walk like the NBA referees did in the morning down at Waltz?
I don't know.
Small walk.
Good song, man. Just give me a kiss.
What Run DMC and Aerosmith, they both do it together.
I'm not a fan. It was all right.
That's a fan.
All right, so all right.
Make like a tree and get out of here.
Dad joke Dylan has arrived. Hate to see it. But yeah, so they suspended the games. There's really not a whole lot to say without getting into politics, and
We are not hitting that.
yeah, we're trying to
Okay,
avoid doing that.
I definitely don't want to touch that.
Yeah, because that'll take up the whole podcast. So, moving right along. Before we get into the Bruins, which is going to take a while, because the two gentlemen sitting beside me here have a couple of thoughts to say
It's
about
not
the
going to be
Bruins.
as bad as a Tom Brady situation, but it's
No, you went off on the Brady situation. You went off.
it's going to be Lowe's, but
So yeah, we'll talk about the Kapanen trade. I'll bring it up, but I can't remember the trade off the top of my head, which usually I'm good with that.
I know Evan Rodriguez was involved.
Mhm.
Philip Hollander.
somebody
Some other Swedish
it started, like,
prospect went the
with
other
an
way.
A.
It
I
was
was like-
the 15th overall pick.
Well, we have our good friends at Cap Friendly. And once I scroll down and find the trade, here we go. To Pittsburgh.
He's to only be referred to as Cheeks Clappinen. I will not accept any other name.
To Pittsburgh. Forward. Cheeks. Clapping. Bags Packin.
Thank you.
Kasperi Kapanen. Pontus Aberg. Jesper Lindgren. And then to Toronto.
It was two Swedes.
Yep. The 15th overall pick for this year, Philip Hollander, Evan Rodriguez. Is it Rodriguez or Rodriguez?
I think it's Rodriguez.
Okay. I don't know if he's French or not. So,
No.
and David Warsofsky.
That guy's trash.
I just have one question for you, since you're the Leaf fan.
I have maybe 3 answers, but probably gonna be 1.
Oh,
He's, out, of
wow,
he's
Jesus.
out of answers for you. I'll take the answers.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say, who now losing that forward? Are you going to go get another forward with that
You
15th
just got
pick?
Evan-
Are you going to?
You
No.
just got Evan
Are you going to try to
Rodriguez.
find somebody to replace
Dude,
Anderson?
okay. Here's the thing. The Leafs, their one strength is wingers. They have an ungodly amount of wingers. So, and you have a new forward coming in
Oh yeah.
the trade, and then you have, wow, I'm so tired
You have
today.
Nick
Yeah,
Robertson.
thank you. That's what I was trying to think of. Nick Robertson, who came in. He's probably going to make the team. He might not play a full 82, but you can't send him down next season because if you send him down once, he goes to junior and he can't come back up because of that silly rule. But, yeah, they have so many wingers. It's not a big deal. And they brought in an NHL winger in Rodriguez,
And
who's
he's a top 9 type of player.
he's okay. Like, he's making $2 million. He's probably not worth $2 million.
Definitely not.
And he needs to be re-signed. He's an RFA, so Dubas will be like, hey, look, if you want to take $1 million, you have an opportunity here. If not, best of luck to you.
You could just let him go.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. But the big thing is that pick because, I mean, I like Kapanen. He's a
not
great
fair.
player.
Not worth
He's
that.
currently not worth a first-round pick, especially that high. Like 25th, sure. But 15th in this draft,
No.
not a chance.
I mean, if I'm the Leafs, personally, I think you use that for a defensive prospect or Askarov if he somehow
Yeah.
magically falls down
If-
that low.
See, here's the thing, though. There's no consensus on where he's going to go. Most likely, the Canes are probably going to take him. If
I've
not,
heard talent-wise that he's top 10.
yeah, talent-wise, he's top 10. But then you look at
What's
everybody else in the top 10, and they're like, okay, well, these guys are all top 10 too. And then in any other year, some of these guys might be top 5 that aren't currently, you know? So, like,
Yeah, this is supposed to be the deepest draft since, like, what, the McDavid draft?
anybody they pick within, like, the top 12 are solid picks. So, honestly, you can go off of positional need because you can make an argument for any of those guys.
I feel like that's the way you should draft in general, unless there's, like, a literal consensus, like,
All-star,
number 1
yeah.
overall pick where, like, you can't turn that down.
Well, it's weird because in, like, the top 15 of the first round, you probably should just go with best player available, and you can turn that value into what you need, you know? But then when you look at a sport like football, which is, you know, consistently what you need for a position, like if you
except the first overall pick.
yeah, but like if you have, you know, Russell Wilson, are you going to draft Joe Burrow?
Yeah, but
Probably
you're not going to be the first pick. That's the
No,
thing.
that's what I'm like. But
Yeah.
hypothetically, if you were,
Yeah, no, you wouldn't do that unless you trade him and just try to start young.
Speaking of picks, I heard that the Maple Leafs could be trying to shop that pick around for a player that could play now.
Dubas
Preferably
is
a defenseman, I would assume.
he's open to everything.
I was gonna say, couldn't you trade the first two to move up even higher into the draft too?
I don't think there's really no point in moving up if you're the Leafs. I just
Yeah, I mean,
if anything, you would trade those 2 picks and get like a solid player.
well, like for example, if the Leafs are fully like, I want Askarov because Askarov played in the VHL this season. He played 20 games, which the VHL is like the KHL's equivalent to the AHL, and the KHL, for people that don't know, is Russia's pro league. So he's playing against grown men, which already probably is why he's a step ahead of all these other goalies, because he's playing against grown men.
And
So
the best
his
part, full right goalie.
full right goalie, which
Don't
means
you
he
already have
catches on
one?
his right hand.
Don't you already have one to back up?
Yeah, but Frederick Anderson is on the wrong side of 30, and his contract expires after next season.
I'm
But
honestly.
what I'm trying to say is, why would you want 2 full right goalies?
No, we
No,
don't have
he's
a
not
full right
full
goalie.
right.
I thought the backup was a full right.
No,
No,
he's
that's
not.
what it is.
No,
Okay.
Hutchinson used to be on the team. He was a full right.
Okay, that's
He's
what
not
I was thinking
anymore.
of. Okay.
He was
yeah.
also dog shit.
Yeah, he was very bad.
I'm just hearing a lot of talk that Anderson's most likely gone, like traded Like he's getting
Well, yeah,
benched,
because
probably getting moved, and
they'll-
that they're confident that Jack Campbell can start.
the team, I'm not personally. The team in front of Anderson hasn't been good enough
For him to want
for Dubas to reward them by keeping Anderson, because Anderson is a really good goalie and is very close with a lot of these players. You know, our best player, Austin Matthews, they're like buddy. You know, but the team in front of him hasn't been good enough to reward them with that. So sorry, hockey's a business. I'm open to anything because you guys clearly can't get it done.
So if you
So
trade
why
him,
wouldn't you go to get something to help put something in front of him? Because you guys got the forwards, you got the tendy.
Because the
You don't
team
got the D.
hasn't deserved that. They don't play like they should in front of an all-star goalie.
Well, it's also a process. I mean, yeah, they've made this one trade and they absolutely fleeced the Penguins, and a lot of Penguins fans are not pleased with the trade.
Would you be?
No, I mean
Exactly.
they haven't.
They're trying to keep
they've had-
they think they're still a Stanley Cup team. They
are.
Yeah, but not what they used to be. They don't have
I mean,
like that
technically,
2018
anybody
talent.
not named Detroit or Ottawa is a Stanley Cup team.
Well, even those teams, like they have pieces, you know. But I mean, if as long as they have Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin, there's no reason why they can't throw together a cup team. I mean, it's not hard when you have those two guys, and they did that without Crystal Tang in one of the years, you know.
I'm also hearing that Crystal Tang is on the block, but I mean,
Really?
well, yeah, Pittsburgh just got outed. I mean,
I mean,
that's something that Jim Rutherford, really don't think he's that good of a GM. I think he's
Well-
too hasty to make moves.
Yeah.
he's not very good at trading,
But
and he's not very good at signing people because he's made
So
some.
what's the
He's
no,
made
he's
some.
terrible at signing people.
I know,
He's
but
made some
that's
very questionable
two
signings.
of them?
Jack
major-
Johnson.
That's two of the major
Um,
things for a GM.
I can't remember his name right now. There's a
So
guy
what's the
that
purpose of keeping him?
there's a guy that had like 29 points. He's making like 4 point something or whatever.
But
Let me just look up their cap friendly.
like Connor Sherry. No, but he's not that good of a GM, and he's wicked hasty to pull the trigger. And he said,
But they did win back-to-back cups.
No,
so,
they did.
I mean, he's doing something.
But that's
right.
what I'm saying. They're trying to hold on to that,
Yeah. and-
which
Well,
you
look
don't
at
have
it this way.
the same.
Look at it this way. The way how I put this, the way hockey teams operate and the way any pro sports team really operates is they operate on a window. And they have this core, and this core gives them this amount of years of a window to win a championship. Now, the Penguins have, what would you say is fair? 3, maybe 4 years left of that window, depending
I
on
was gonna
how
say 4.
depending on how quickly Crosby and Malkin fall off. It could be shorter. Who knows? But
max 5 years.
max,
That's still pushing it a little
No,
bit.
I'd
because
say
you
that's
really,
pushing it.
You don't know with Malkin and Crosby.
That's true.
All they have to do is just stay healthy. I mean, they're world-class talent.
yeah. And I mean, Crosby now doesn't really operate off of speed. I mean,
No.
It literally just requires a
So
game
that's a
change.
more
Look at
sustainable
Luc
game.
Robitaille. Luc Robitaille extended his career because he, instead of being like an offensive force, he started playing more defensively and conservative.
yeah, that's why Crosby's been able to
Steve
play for so
Yzerman
long.
as well.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess that's fair. But and then I'd say the shortest their window could be is 2 years. I mean, so they have this window, and they're going to do everything they can to maximize the team on the ice in this window. Like the Bruins are doing the same thing. I don't think they've done it as well, clearly, because they don't have as many cups as the Penguins core has. But regardless, they have the same window, and they're operating within it. So they're doing everything they can to build the team to be the best it can be within this window.
But Rutherford said himself, like I'm pretty sure this is a direct quote, that he's going to make a lot of changes because he's not happy with the fact that they got outed. Which I don't think they were that good of a team.
No.
They didn't. They just didn't have a competing team.
Well, their first mistake was starting Matt Murray. I mean, Jari's clearly the better goalie,
I
and
think
then
Well,
I
the thing
think-
was he had a losing streak.
No, they're trying to shop him around.
So they're trying to show him off.
They're 100%. I'm convinced Matt Murray's getting moved. They had a trade in place, and
they're
it fell
both
through.
they're both RFA goalies, and Jari's clearly the better one.
in the younger
So
one.
I'm 100% convinced Matt Murray's getting moved, and
Well, actually, I think Jari's older because Jari's been developing for a long time.
Jari's like 24.
He is. Oh, okay. So Murray's 1 year older. Murray's 26. Jari's 25.
Is he?
But I remember Jari, like, he's been in the system for a long time. It took him a while.
Goalies, it's different with all of them. Some
He
of them
developed
are,
on, like, the typical goalie time frame. Like, he took a
Lundqvist
while.
came up at 24,
Yeah.
but it usually means that you'll last longer, depending on injuries.
Yeah.
Because that's always a question mark. But depending on that, he should last until about 37.
Yeah. That's fair.
Like, Lundqvist is like 37, or no, Lundqvist is like 35 right now, 36.
Yeah, and he's not what he was, but he's still an NHL goalie.
And he's
Well,
just starting to
backup.
hit that decline.
NHL goalie and
Well,
starter.
Yeah. Okay.
He's just starting to hit that decline.
Yeah.
I'd say last year was his last year being like a
Top
starter.
of yours.
His last hurrah.
But even still, he's more than capable as a backup. And that brings me on to this subject I was just trying to transition to as well. With so many goalies being on the trade block or
Free
going into
agency.
free agency, a lot of teams that need a goalie have so many options. Henrik
Yeah.
Lundqvist is clearly on the block. I mean, I love him, but why would New York keep him?
Well, let's look at.
The upcoming free agents. Or?
Yeah, there's a lot
You have
of.
Matt Murray on the block.
There's a lot of goalies. So
You
Isn't
have-
that Vegas?
Robin
goalie?
Lehner. See, both their goalies are
Yeah,
are
well,
in
I was gonna say,
question
isn't Fleury?
because they're starting Lehner, and that makes me think that they're gonna pay him to stay there,
And that means Fleury.
and that means Fleury's on.
all right. So I'm gonna run you through the UFA. I believe these are all UFAs, not RFAs.
Even
Yes,
if they are, I mean,
they're all. These are all.
Still can
you
get
really
moved.
think a good goalie won't get an offer sheet
Well, yeah, but there's still the offer sheets. You have to work through that.
or a
So
trade,
these are all the UFA
Right,
goalies.
yeah.
Braden Holtby.
which is a huge one. Like,
Yeah, he took a step down, which is why during
How
the
old is he?
season he 30.
I was gonna
he's
say,
gonna
I
get
think
an
he's
ugly
gonna
contract.
Yeah, he's probably
do you think
going
he's
to.
staying?
No, I mean, he's
No, he's
gonna
leaving.
get a
I
good
I heard
contract
that
for
he's
him.
been leaving.
A team is gonna give him an ugly
Oh, yeah.
contract.
That's
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
gonna
Yeah.
regret.
It's probably going to be Calgary, in my opinion. But I'm just going to move through them.
Yeah.
Corey Crawford, Robin Lehner, Craig Anderson, Jimmy Howard, Jacob Markstrom, ever heard of him? Thomas Grice, Cam Talbot, Anton Khudobin, who's been really good so far, Mike Condon, Mike Smith, Brian Elliott, Aaron Dell, Keith Kincaid, and then now we're getting into like the backup goalies, which are Laurent Brossois, Louis Domingue, Ryan Miller, Anton Forsberg, John Gillies, and then, okay, I'll stop because now we're kind of moving into AHL goalies.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Crawford's gonna stay in Chicago.
to touch on no, he's not.
Then what? That's a mistake on them to trade.
How's that a mistake? He's 33 and
35.
Then why trade the
35,
other guy that you had?
and he's concussion prone.
Why trade the other guy that you could have kept? If
Yeah,
you're
but
not
then
gonna
you-
keep Crawford.
No,
Because
hang on, though.
They weren't
Hang
in a
on, though.
playoff position.
They weren't in a playoff position at the time of the trade, so keeping him and then him potentially walking is poor asset management. So, if you wanted to be in Chicago, you can trade him away, and then when you lose, because Lehner was not going to bring you to the playoffs, but he was going to bring you very close, which hurts your odds of getting a high draft pick.
Which they didn't help themselves either.
Yeah, they didn't really help themselves because they ended up playing well in these playoffs, but that wasn't going to happen.
and then
so at
Lehner
the
shut
time-
him down.
At the time, it was very good asset management. At the time. Looking at it now, it's a little hazy, but you can't blame them for the decision they made at the
Well,
time.
I mean, at the same time, is it really all that bad with all these goalies?
Well, I was gonna say you
Yeah,
signed the
it's not that
extension to
bad.
Lehner before the free agency, and then let Crawford walk. So it wasn't.
yeah,
if
but
you knew if he wasn't gonna say yes, that's a good.
yeah, but he
trade,
wants
but-
a commitment. Maybe they weren't willing to commit.
yeah, and maybe he just didn't want to be in Chicago. Like maybe he doesn't like the city or whatever. Maybe that he just didn't like it there.
But there's so many teams that could use a goalie. Edmonton being probably number one on my list. Them and Calgary, like they need a goalie.
Well, so does
Calgary is talking about extending
Minnesota needs one.
Cam Talbot.
which is the worst idea.
Yeah.
Because Rittich is more than capable of being a fringe starter.
Yeah,
Good backup. If
I-
you get a good goalie in front of him, Braden Holtby, then you have a good 1-2 punch.
Yeah, it's just like it was so.
But wouldn't you be afraid that Holtby is going to start falling off the cliff because he hasn't been performing
like
what
I
he's
said,
meant?
fringe starter, you can literally just split them both down the middle.
Yeah, I mean it was so hard to watch that Dallas Calgary series because like Calgary just gets a damn save. Like it's all they just needed a save, and neither one of their goalies could give them a good save. Like they were letting in bad goals and not making really any fantastic saves either.
That's what you get with Cam Talbot. That's literally been his entire
Yeah.
career, other than one stint with the Rangers.
Yeah, but then they put in Big Save Dave, which is his nickname, and he wasn't really making any big saves.
He's so streaky. Like that's the issue.
Yeah, he
He's
is.
wicked streaky.
He is.
And Tuukka's a streaky goalie. He's more streaky than Tuukka.
Look at the
saying
look
a
at the
lot.
transition by Kidd. Now I guess we'll get into the Bruins talks now because
Well,
Hey,
I was,
where are
gonna-
we
I was
behind?
bringing up Tuukka mainly because of, if you don't know by now, he opted out.
yeah, I mean
You don't know.
And
Now
you've
you
been
know.
under a rock.
You
People-
know, one of the
people
most hated men in
can-
Boston right now.
People can listen
For
to
no
what
reason.
Sweeney
I
said.
know.
Sweeney said Tuukka's coming back. That
I don't
doesn't-
think he's coming
That doesn't
back.
mean anything. You really think he's going to say, no, fuck that guy in front of the media?
Yeah, I mean
There's extremely bad blood there. And we went to school with this guy's uncle, but he lives up the street from my grandparents, and he's actually close with somebody that knows Don Sweeney. Tuukka has a drinking problem.
Does not shock me the way that
well, that's
I mean, it's a
doesn't
one-sided.
shock
but,
me.
no. That's gossip. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not.
No, it is, but from what he said, Tuukka has a drinking problem, and I mean, it does kind of add up because a lot of the times that he has bailed has been, oh, I don't feel good. He has the runs, like diarrhea,
Headaches.
and headaches. That's another one. He gets those a lot, which just caused me to think he's hungover.
Yeah, I mean, if that is the case, then that's a problem he needs to deal with. But like, that's
But
that's not fact, so I'm not going to even bother talking
but
about that.
besides that, I mean,
Like,
opting out like that, the team is not happy with
and he's
him.
done it
Looking
before
at-
in the
looking at the big picture, though, assuming he's not an alcoholic, which I would like to assume he's not.
I would too. I would
Yeah.
hope not.
So, assuming he's not, his daughter was sick, and as a goaltender, the most important thing to your game, above all else, is your head. If your mind is not in it, you're not going to play well. I don't care if you're Carey Price or if you want to, like Patrick Waugh back in the day. If your mind's not in it, you're not going to play well. And his mind wasn't in it, and he didn't play well.
no, and I get that, but
he's done it before.
he bails out a lot in big moments.
He bailed out in I want to say the World Cup for Finland.
And he can use that daughter excuse all he wants, and I do like if his daughter was sick, I understand that. That same day that he opted out, he was seen at a golf course.
I mean, is there a picture?
The media went there to go get pictures, and the cops came. The place called the cops and rushed Tuukka out the back. But it was all over Twitter.
I mean,
he was
I didn't see a thing about that. So
He was-
if you can bring
Yeah,
that
I was
up,
gonna say,
That happened.
that's like 2 weeks
ago.
ago.
you can find it.
I'll look it up. Just
But
keep
no,
going.
he actually was at it. Ty Anderson, who's works for 98.5 The Sports Hub, was even talking about it. He was at a golf course playing golf when his daughter was sick, and he opted out to go be with his daughter.
All right. I mean, if that is the case, then that's kind of snaky. But like,
So what I do believe it's a partial reason why he did go, because that is the right thing to do. Is
August 18th, 2020. Took a rest roommate on golf course in the Stanley Cup playoffs with his family was playing the
English is not Dylan's strong suit.
the sentence was bad when it was
you're talking to the side of the mic.
yeah, I
there, buddy.
know.
Talk into the mic.
There has been whispers today of the Bruins goaltender Tuukka Rask, who just a few days ago left the NHL bubble in the Stanley Cup playoffs to be with his family, was playing golf this afternoon. This is not 100% fact, but how would that look if, while teams are trying to win a championship, you are falling games short last year and the fourth highest paid goalie is hitting on the fairway?
Okay, so it's not fact, and there's no picture of it, correct?
I'm trying to see if there is, but
If there's no picture, it probably is not true.
if they rushed him out, if the
they
cops
rushed
got
him
called
out
and they
and
rushed
the
him out,
cops
there's
were
no
called.
photo.
Slow down. If there's no picture of it, the
He's
reason
one of
I want to believe it's not true is because Boston, for whatever reason, doesn't like Tuukka. And I don't know why, but they don't like him. The city just doesn't like him. And that's true.
They did.
Over the course. No, they really never have.
No.
They never have. The reason they don't like him is because he took Tim Thomas's job, and Thomas was the guy that brought them the cup. It's the only reason they don't like him. And nobody's ever going to say that, but that's the reason they don't like him.
I mean, personally, I like him. I think he's in my mind, the franchise's best goalie.
But
A lot of people are
Even
lost
still-
respect for him
But
after
even
what he
still,
just did.
over the course of, us being friends, you have shit on
No,
Tuukka
well, I
Rask
shit on
for no
everybody.
good reason.
I shit on everybody.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you can't really.
Except for, like, Bergeron. You never
Yeah, I was
see
gonna say,
Bergeron's
Bergie does no
he's
wrong.
the golden boy.
Shit on Bergeron.
Bergie
Like,
Bergie
Bergie
does
does
no
no wrong.
I stand that man. You kidding me?
It's always Bergie.
But anyways, Tuukka causes a lot of controversy. He lets in bad goals
Every goalie does.
at big times, and if you're gonna pay a goalie to be a big time goalie, you don't want that.
But at the same time, also carried it to the finals
No, and I understand that. And like I said, I respect that.
a few times.
I like Tuukka. I think he's a really good goalie, but he does punk shit like this all the
But-
time.
Yeah.
He
We want to
bails
touch
out.
on that. You say he always shits on it. I'm usually the one defending Tuukka, and I'm disappointed with this shit.
Yeah, but at the same time, you're disappointed by something that cannot. I mean, honestly,
But you're saying because there's no pics, there's no proof. If they rushed him out, so you can't get a picture.
They have
Yeah,
the
but
cops
that's
stop.
if you're
have the
if
cops
you're a
stopping
media
people.
reporter. Hang on, don't shake your head at me. Let's slow down. If you're a media reporter and you already don't like Tuukka, let's just say that's who you are, right? And you're going to this golf course, probably just go play a couple of holes and go back to work or whatever, right? And you get the idea, oh, I can fabricate this fairly easily because if I can't get a picture, even though it's my job to get a picture, I can just say, oh, he got snuck out and whatever. Because you could just take a picture of the police officers rushing him out, and then that backs up what you said, that the police rushed him out. But they didn't even get a picture of that.
Well, from
That's
what,
your job is to do that.
from what
is
I
to get the picture.
heard and saw on Twitter, it was actually multiple media.
It wasn't just Boston.
It wasn't just like WCB or whatever. It was a bunch of media outlets. They heard that Tuukka was there, and they all rushed there.
Yeah, it spreads.
So they all rushed to this golf course, and what happened was, obviously, it looks bad if Tuukka's there, and the golf place knows this, so they rushed him out and called the cops. So that way, the cops could be the distraction. That
Yeah,
way
So
but
there's
it
no
couldn't
cop
be
rushing him
There
out.
couldn't be a picture of Tuukka there. Now, you could have taken a picture of all the police there, and that
Which
would
is
back it up.
equally
That
bad, in
would
my
be-
opinion.
That would be the right thing to do, is
'Cause
take
why,
a picture.
why the hell is there going to be a police officer at a golf course? Like, there's no reason for him to be there other than that.
Oh, there's other reasons.
What I
that could've
think, and I
happened,
do
but-
think that something did go down there, something fishy did go down there, because there was multiple media sources there, and they all reported the same exact story.
Yeah, I mean,
So
you'd
unless
have.
they're
I'd
in
have to.
cahoots,
Yeah, like it's what they're all
but
in the media.
I just
They
don't-
all go to the same places because that's their job.
I don't see why you would be in cahoots and be like, and say the same exact story, because what you want to do as media is get the first story, get the scoop, leak it first.
And wouldn't you think Tuukka would come out and try to support himself too, if you hear those rumors?
Yeah, but he also didn't. He hasn't said a word. So
Good on him. Don't say anything.
Because even if
Keep your damn mouth shut.
if you say anything, even if you're if you deny it,
They will turn it against you.
yeah, it'll turn against you. And if you don't say it perfectly, then it'll be like, all right, well then he was definitely there because he got defensive and said something.
I personally believe that besides the whole daughter thing, because he literally opted out like a day or two after the whole police hat thing.
No, he opted out after he said it doesn't feel like a playoff
It
game.
was a day or two after police, like the hat interview, whatever that bullshit is, and then he said that stupid shit. So it's
Yeah, his mind wasn't in it.
I think he just went in there not wanting to play.
Yeah.
I think it was more the team was like, "Hey, we need you," and he was like, "Oh, I'll see how I feel." So he went in.
Yeah.
And then two, he said stupid shit, and the media had severe backlash. And I think he was like, "Okay, I don't want to deal with this."
Yeah, he didn't want to be there in the first place. So, he doesn't have to play. Nobody has, there's a defenseman on Calgary that didn't play.
It's
Because he didn't want to.
scummy to come in mid-playoff, quote-unquote, and then quit.
And on the day of a game.
I do think that is scummy. But, I mean, he doesn't have to play. He can opt out whenever he wants.
Yeah, and the way this world is set up right now, he has every right to do that.
So on one hand, I don't blame him. On the other hand, it's like you could have at least told your coach. He actually did not tell Bruce Cassidy or Don Sweeney anything. He opted out and went right to Dale Arnold and told Dale Arnold. That's how it got leaked to the media.
I mean, hey, that's probably not the right way to do it.
No, he literally went, and so then that's when Sweeney and Co. found out, and there's bad blood there, and
Yeah, I mean, there's been bad blood for the entire time Tuukka's been in the city.
I mean between him and management.
Yeah, but
Now it's
you know
like
what I mean.
he's the only things coming out of his mouth is retirement. He's talking a lot about retiring.
And if he doesn't
And
retirement,
If
this
he doesn't
talks about trades.
No, if he doesn't retire, this is his last time being Bruin. I'm pretty certain of that.
But yeah, his
but
mind's not in.
after the way Halak plays, you're just gonna hand him the job back.
It's a one-day game. Like he said, every goalie does have a bad game.
Yeah, every
No,
goalie's
I'm
got a bad
saying,
game.
you're not gonna hand Rask saying, "Hey, welcome back. Here's your starting job." Is what I'm saying.
When you're like when something like that goes down, you either have to find a way to hash it out, or you guys find the common ground of get me the fuck out of here.
Yeah, and at the same time, Halak's playing, except for Game 3, he's been
Because
playing.
like I said, he played back to back.
Yeah, but every game up until now, he's been playing out of his mind.
Exactly. That's why
But
I'm saying.
at the same time, Halak's not a starting goaltender. Never really has been, and he gets hot, and then he takes the job for a little while, and then he cools off. That's what he's been for a long time. The only time he was really a starter was in Montreal, and then played.
Carried that team that had no business
Yeah.
going to like a conference final. He carried them to a conference final.
Yeah, he gets hot, and then Price came in and did Carey Price things, and
Price was like, "Hey, wait, I remember who I am."
well, I think that's when Price was young, wasn't he? I think so. I think it was when he was really young. How old's Price? Like 32, 33?
Around that.
Yeah. So he was in his early 20s.
Wait. Wasn't he the same draft as Drew Doughty?
I don't know. He might have been. Let's find out. Let's just look up how old Carey Price is, because that would sound correct to me. Because what year was the conference final run?
The 2010s.
Well, yeah, because this year's 2020.
2010. The 2010.
Oh, 2010.
somewhere around
Yes.
there.
You said the 2010s. Yeah, he's 33, so he would have been 23 then. So, yeah. Early 20s. So he wasn't
Carey was like, "Oh, you think that's good? Hold my beer."
yeah, he wasn't Carey Price yet, but he was knocking on the door. He was about to be. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. He didn't handle it the right way, but the thing that he chose to do, he has every right to do. I don't know.
It's just he should have handled it better.
He
And
should have
it's
handled
scummy
it better.
the way that he handled it.
Yeah.
So if he does leave, I mean, like I said, I like the guy, but when you pull shit like that, I mean, you kind of deserve.
You're fueling the fire.
You
Boston's window is very short because it's hanging on a lot of factors. It's hanging on how long can Patrice Bergeron be Patrice Bergeron, because there's nobody else in the Bruins organization that's going to eat those minutes and play like him in those minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, if it's just defensive sided, then it's not too. He could do that for a little bit longer.
Yeah, but it's
Because he has Marchand and Pasternak to kind of carry the.
and
weight.
Marchand is also older, so and he does get beat up a lot because he makes people not like him. So who knows how long he's going to play at that level. And you also need a lot of guys to step up once Krug most likely leaves. You need Grzelcyk to step up,
Clifton.
and it's not guaranteed that he will.
Clifton's your replacement for Kevin Miller.
Yeah, I mean, the Bruins organization, their window, I think they like to think it's longer than it is, and it probably is just because you have Charlie McAvoy, who
And Pasternak.
is only going to get better.
Well, I mean, not that he's Patrice Bergeron, but Charlie Coyle could eat those minutes.
Charlie Coyle is really good in the playoffs,
Yes.
and I'll leave it at that.
Yes.
I'm saying he could eat those minutes. Defensively, I think he's actually a pretty good forward.
Yeah, but you need to score goals to win games.
If you throw him on the first line, all he has to do is dish it to Pasta or Marchand.
Okay, so then the rest of the league says, okay, we'll discard these two guys
Then,
and leave
and
them
then
alone.
you
Yeah.
have Krejci with Kasha and DeBrusk, which
I'm not concerned about that line.
they've looked
Yeah.
good. They have
Not
looked
worried.
really good.
Kasha can't skate. Can't control his skating, and DeBrusque can't aim the net.
Well,
100% of the time.
the only guy I'm worried about on that line is
is
DeBrusk.
Krejci. I'm worried about Krejci.
Why would you be worried about
He's
Krejci?
a facilitator.
He's
He's
not
the
good.
one that sets up everything. That's what I'm saying.
No, but that's what I mean. That's why that's such a Kasha came in and honestly, the guy's a shooter. He'll literally shoot from anywhere, and
Yeah.
then he comes
Control
in
it
and
right
he's
now.
making extremely good plays.
No, he's been good.
Been a good
Yeah.
playmaker. If that line does what it's doing right now, I'm not saying that they're producing. I'd like them to, but I mean, it is playoff hockey. Your bounces are going to be a lot different. It's August. I mean, it's just weird.
Yeah,
If they go into this season playing like they are, DeBrusk could bang home 30.
I think so. If the Bruins want to just make the playoffs, that won't be it won't be difficult to do, most likely. I mean, the Atlantic Division has a lot of teams who are most likely going to take a step,
Yeah,
and
that's
we just
what I was
have to
gonna
wait
say,
for
'cause you
them
got a
to
lot
do
of
that.
Other people, because you got to worry about Tampa, Capitals, Pittsburgh.
Capitals.
I'm just naming the.
I'm talking about the Atlantic Division in terms of next
Okay.
season, the season's
I was just talking
you have,
about.
You have
You got the
Toronto
Panthers.
and Tampa, who
You
are
have-
the teams that I'm most worried about.
Yeah, they're going to be a lock.
Yeah.
And then you have Montreal, who looked good, and
Yeah,
their guys
I
are
mean,
taking
yeah.
steps.
If they make the right moves this offseason, I could see them being a contending team.
100%.
Yeah.
Especially since Price,
Yeah.
we thought, if he gets this rest, he could be back, and it looks like he is.
But is it going to be better for the whole? Because they said they want to play 82 games.
Well, you have
With
all
that,
these,
not as long of a rest.
you have all these goalies in free agency. You go get a guy who can
Back them up.
lock you up 35 games,
Right.
and then you're good to go. You just got to manage his load, and then in those games that he plays,
Because
he
he
lights
isn't
out.
that young chicken anymore that can.
No,
That's key with older goalies is load management.
yeah, and that's why Rask has been so successful, is because
Mm-hmm.
they have Halak, and Halak
and
is
Khudobin beforehand.
yeah, and
Mhm.
those guys were managing their own loads by just
being there.
being old,
We used to not let him out of games.
yeah.
Speaking of Khudobin, that guy's a fucking animal.
Oh my
man.
God.
That guy is an animal.
Dude,
He's so scary to watch. It's like, oh, that's a goal. That's going in. And then he's just somehow there.
yeah, he's modern day Cujo, just not as good. But you think he's not going to make the save, and he finds a way.
Is he? I haven't really been paying attention to that one. I should be. Is he starting 100%, or are they switching
Yep.
him with Ben Bishop?
He's been in every game. Bishop is still unfit to play,
How?
and even when he is fit to play, I don't really see a reason to
ride
go
the
to
hot
him.
hand.
Oh yeah.
just
It's
Well, I was
playoff
saying that
hockey.
before, and you were like,
Just
"Why isn't
ride the
Ben?"
hot hand.
I wasn't aware he was unfit. I thought he was going to be.
No, I
Like, Stamkos was supposed to be fit to play this round.
Yeah, that's why I'm like,
Haven't seen him.
no need right now.
Yeah, I think they're up 2-1 right now.
Yeah. And we
I mean,
lost to a
well-
team that didn't have McDonough either that game.
Fuck, dude, Tampa's D court is
I
just
said the same thing, but
stacked.
they still missed an
I think
all-star player.
I think the Bruins could still take this series, but the games they lost, obviously, now we're getting into it, I guess.
No.
well, we got it.
Okay. Honestly, the reason I think the Bruins are still in it is because Tampa decided to win the game 7-1.
It's going to piss us off.
They should have left it. Like, don't embarrass them. Just, you have it at 5-1. You know you can lock it down. Just lock it down by getting offensive zone time, which they did the whole third period. Just don't score. Just lock it down that way. And they'll lose, they'll be upset, but they won't be mad they got embarrassed, which is the problem. They embarrassed them. That's why it's
and now they're going to be mad and aggressive.
Now,
Yeah.
And you're going to see people going for bodies.
Yeah.
Last week, because we took 1 week off, so 2 weeks ago they were still playing Carolina.
Yes.
So I'm just
I
gonna
thought they were
start.
done by then.
I'm gonna start from there. Bruins played well against Carolina.
They did.
I was
Yes.
happy. They played extremely well, and they were down 2-0 in one of the games. I remember this because me and my dad were watching it, and he's like, "Fuck this, I'm going to bed." I stayed up, and the third period, great comeback.
I just want to ask, why the hell did Reimer leave the net for that DeBrusque goal? What was the...
Can we get to that?
Well, that was the game.
Yeah, well,
So
it
that's
was
why-
leading up to that.
Sorry.
I have to refresh my memory.
You gonna go
So
watch it?
it's
Remember
2-0.
what game was that?
That was game 4?
Yes.
Okay.
So now that he brought it up, it's 2-0. DeBrusque came in. I want to say it was like halfway through.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
DeBrusque.
DeBrusque.
I still love that guy.
Outrace-
DeBruck.
I know, I love
He's-
DeBruck.
Yeah, he's
Dude,
really good.
He's awesome. DeBrick.
The brick wall.
He's nasty.
He outraces. I want to say it was Hayden Fleury. I'm actually quite confident. It
I
was
think
Hayden
it's Fleury.
He outraces him, stick lifts him, and gets control of the puck. Reimer thought it'd be a great idea to try to run out and diving poke check. Like someone I know.
That's what you talking about?
So
It works.
DeBrusque read this, moved the puck out of the way, jumped over him, and scored. That started the comeback.
I'm just so confused on why he thought that was because he still had a defenseman that could catch up with DeBrusque. DeBrusque was going to get
Well, it was
Yeah, sooner or
either
later.
it was either take the breakaway, the goal's not my fault, and he scores, or it's already a breakaway, maybe I can make a play on it, and if it goes in, it's still really not my fault because it was a breakaway.
I know. It's just like just stay in the post and hope that you can save in the
Well,
post.
he was already
not-
going to play it anyway.
Technically a one-on-one battle with DeBrusque and whoever the D-man was. And it's not... Right when Reimer starts to come out, it's not guaranteed who's winning that battle.
Mhm.
So when DeBrusque gets to that puck, he doesn't have time. He doesn't have a lot of time. He has a little bit of time, and he made a great play within that time. He doesn't have a lot of time to make a good play. So Reimer immediately says, there's no time there. I can dive out and make a play. Because if he gets that, if he just lets DeBrusque win that battle, it's a clean breakaway. So he just assumed DeBrusque cannot make a great play here, and he did. I mean, it wasn't a bad idea by Reimer. It just didn't work out. That's all it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, McAvoy lays a mean hit, and then Connor Clifton gets a goal not too long after. So that really rallied the comeback, because then after that, Marchand gets a beautiful, like, this was some Chell, sauce
Yeah.
the bleach level pass, okay? right to Marchand for a breakaway. Marchand buries it because Marchand, he comes up big when needed.
And we score those.
Exactly.
We score those, baby.
Well,
we score those.
We
some
score those.
some of them score those.
No, you don't.
I hit chest.
Yeah,
And
you,
then,
you hit chest.
And then Krejci to Kasha, Kasha to DeBrusque, DeBrusque out front scores. Bruins win. Next game, they win. Move on to Tampa.
Yeah, which, I mean, it's so funny because you have the nightmare up front with Braden Point and Kucherov, but, like, it's super underrated that I'm worried more about Tampa's defense than their offense, to be honest.
That's yes.
Like, their defense, in terms of who they have, stacked. Like, it's stacked. And they're utilizing...
The whole roster is stacked.
Yeah, they're utilizing the fact that their team plays in Florida, which, good on them.
Yeah.
Exactly what they should do.
They're used to the ice being shit.
No, they're used. No, it's not even that. They don't have a tax, so they can just go and just load up on free agents.
The player I'm actually most scared of is Chiarelli.
Why? He's a GM. That's what I do, bro. His name's Sorelli, not Shirelli.
Sorelli, my bad. Anthony Sorelli is really good. He's just as talented as anybody else in the top 6 on that roster.
Yep. I love watching Yanni Gord play too. I mean, you don't love him right now.
I hate him. I hate him because he's their version of Marchand. I respect the play. He's
Yeah,
very talented.
The French Marchand.
He's very good.
He's
but
the French Marchand.
He's a fucking dickhead. He's a player you love to have on your team, but you hate to play against.
Yeah. He's the French Marchand.
He's just bigger.
Remy? From Ratatouille?
But Sorelli's great third. I mean, he should not be a third line center.
Yeah.
He should be a second line center.
Yep.
But he's on the third line because Tampa. That's all. That's all I need to say is just Tampa.
Tampa Bay.
The definition, like if you look up Anthony Sorelli, why he's a third line center, the definition is just Tampa. It's just Tampa.
Florida.
That's just how Tampa works.
Yep.
Extremely talented, like wicked skilled player, and defensively responsible, like really good defensively.
Yeah, honestly, it's great for them that they went through Columbus first because now they're used to grinding. So Boston plays with much more skill than Columbus does. So Boston's level of grinding is nothing for Tampa because they just went through Columbus. I mean, that's all Columbus does. They just grind the game. They make you hate yourself. And then before you know it, the game's over and they won.
Which good on them for adding Barclay Goodrow and Pat Maroon.
Yeah.
Because those are the two players that you want in those situations.
Mr. Between the Legs Deke himself.
My
Pat Maroon.
guy only knows one deke. One deke, that's it.
Hey, good at it, though. It works. He's good at it. It works.
Guy spent his entire life only doing that deke.
Yeah.
And then this.
So, dude, it's so funny watching him play because he'll be coming down the right side with the puck, and then I see him pull back. I'm like, oh, here it comes, and then he just does it between the legs, and it works like 50% of the time, which is not bad for a guy his skill level.
I mean, at that point he's like, well, I'm a big man.
Well,
I can't try to windmill around somebody. That's just not gonna happen.
That's why it works though, because he's so big. The change of the location of the puck is, very far, and because that's the only deke he does it really quickly. So that's why it actually works.
So it's like he's like, I can't windmill around someone. I'm definitely not gonna do a spin
Well, they never
He's
not get good chances. It's just a matter of whether it goes in.
if they can finish.
And the thing with Kasha is he gets every opportunity to score. He's just so snake bitten, and I really feel like it's that pressure of like, oh shit, okay, I just got traded to a good team,
I don't want to look bad to get traded
Oh.
away.
a big market.
Yep.
So it's like now there's a lot of pressure on him to score.
It's a big culture change.
So
going
I
from
feel like
Anaheim to Boston.
there's just
Zero
such a
fans
weight.
to 100.
Anaheim does all right.
It's not Florida, but
Yeah, like they do okay up there, surprisingly. I mean, they've been there for a while.
I know
so-
that. I'm just. It's,
And they've won a cup.
But
So that
Boston's,
helps.
a, Boston's a bigger market.
Yeah.
And really, the only other market that I think is more critical is Philly.
yes.
Um,
That Philly media is.
Philadelphia,
Hey.
any sport.
Hey, Toronto.
No.
No, dude. Honestly, out of all the markets that are the most critical, Toronto is. Since this core has been together, even though they're not a first seed team, they're an AC team with constantly first seed expectations. They're super critical.
I don't know. I agree with Kid. I agree Philly is very.
Oh,
very.
no, they are. Like they're. I'm
talking-
not disagreeing. I'm just saying because of how large
Yes.
the GTA is, the Greater Toronto area, there's just more people doing it.
Okay.
I mean,
Because you look
I
at
just-
I'll go to Philly and get
I
a
was
battery truck
putting
down.
this-
Yeah, but you look at Philly sports, and they're divided by the Philly teams and the Pittsburgh teams. Toronto doesn't have that.
I was putting this as
Alright.
a whole, like a sports media as a whole.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Toronto really doesn't give a shit about the fucking Blue Jays.
And they really don't care about their.
Well, no, the Raptors, like, honestly, no, they care about the Raptors. I was going to go with that Canadian.
They're not as critical in the
I was gonna go with the
because
Canadian football league.
that high
up
as
there.
well.
They're like, oh, we won a championship. Okay, we're cool. we got what we wanted. That's it.
They
Yeah.
were. They're very, very harsh to Vince back in the early days, though.
Overall, I'd probably say it's Philly has probably the most critical media.
Mhm.
Then it's Boston and New York.
Yeah.
They teeter-totter. It all depends.
I'd say when Montreal's bad. When Montreal's bad, they're up there. But when Montreal's good, they're,
They're one of those fans.
no,
media.
they're I don't even know how to word it. They're just like, they're constantly happy over there when Montreal's good.
I'll get to them.
All
in a
they got.
minute. I'll get to them and why they need to change. But Kasha comes here. It's a more critical market than Anaheim.
Yep.
Like a critical media. And there's a lot of pressure on him to come in and score. But he comes in injured. So he has to get healthy. Then he gets healthy and then gets hurt again.
And he was already getting
So
shit on
he's
for
like,
that.
okay, already off to a bad start. And then really, he comes back in towards playoffs. I mean, he played a little bit.
Yeah,
But
he's under a lot of
He
pressure.
comes back in playoffs and he's super snake bitten. I think it's 100% a confidence thing. If he was to even get an empty net goal, then he could finally say, okay, first one, the monkey's off the back. Now I can do what I need to do.
Well, if he got to play 20, 30 games of regular season hockey, we wouldn't be talking about this.
Mm.
He just didn't get that opportunity because he got hurt.
He got hurt, and then we had COVID.
Yeah.
So he didn't get.
He just didn't get an opportunity. I mean, that's all
I
it is.
really think
So
next
he's
year,
really like performing in playoffs to see how
next
he
year
is.
you'll see the real
Yeah.
Kasha. You'll see how good of a line that's actually going to be.
Maybe you'll see the real Richie.
are seeing the real
yeah,
Richie.
he's
It's a joke.
He's a joke.
Calm down.
he tries.
Hey.
He does.
Who would you rather have?
Everybody fucking
Hold
tries.
on.
Well,
I
hang on.
want to ask this question. Lucic or Richie? Who would you rather have?
Lucic at least banged home fucking goals.
no,
So
no,
Lucic-
nope.
Richie can't skate.
Are you talking about
Hang on.
Lucic now?
Yes.
Hang on.
Oh, well then fucking.
I'm taking Richie for one reason and one reason only.
He can skate.
No, he's the easiest guy to trade. Lucci's contract is
Okay,
rough.
well if you talk about now, then obviously fucking Richie, he's younger.
Yeah.
And 1.2 is easy to move.
All right, fine. Back to
Or
older
Barry.
Lucic.
If you talk about prime Lucic or prime Richie, which there's never going to be a prime Richie,
No, there never was.
he is what he is. I'd take Lucic because Lucic could at least bang home fucking goals.
I mean, he had a good playoffs, though. He had a good playoff. He was making some crisp passes. And I think he's finally learning how to play with no speed. You know? Because he just got this kid, Dubé, who can skate, put the puck in the net. He's good.
Just pass it to him and he'll finish.
And I believe, does he play with Kachuk? McDonald Jr. That guy's got a mustache.
That's a good line.
Yeah, it's Lucic, Bennett, and Dubé. It was a physical line, and they put the puck in the net.
That's why they probably did it, because it was so physical.
Yeah, I mean, Calgary plays like most of their guys play a physical game. It's just that top line that doesn't.
They want to add another grit player.
For some
I mean,
reason.
why not? Just have depth.
Back to shitty. I mean, Richie. If he just sticks to his fucking game, which is what he was brought in here to do, hit, fight, or at least
Piss people off.
piss people off.
Yeah,
just
just
go to the front of the
be a
fucking net.
distraction. Open up,
Just be a
get
big
space.
body.
If
Get
he
space
just
to the other two
sticks
guys.
to that, and then occasionally goes out and just helps keep puck possession, then whatever, I'm fine. I really don't care.
But he doesn't do
It's
that.
third line, but he doesn't do that.
Well, he does some of that. He likes to poke the bear a little bit, but
So it's like, I mean, whatever. You were nothing. You really, Heinen wasn't much while he was here. I think there's a lot more to Heinen, which is why I'm mad that he was traded. But
Yeah.
he was-
There was more to gain there.
It was a nothing trade,
yeah.
and
It was
whatever.
just to give both of those guys a new opportunity. That's all it
Mhm.
was.
So it's like
To see
whatever.
how they perform in different.
You clear
Yeah.
cap doing it as well, so
That never hurts.
it never does. So whatever. Fucking Nick Ritchie's a Boston Bruin.
The thing that pissed me off the most last night's game, that ref that got in the way and gave Point the
We're
open.
not there yet.
We're at that.
Hang on. Hang on. We'll get to it.
I can never.
We'll get to it.
Jesus.
You lose in overtime. It was. I mean, it is what it is.
They got the game to go to OT.
You got
Yeah.
the game to go to OT. You didn't deserve to win. Whatever. That I take that as a win.
It's pity point,
Well,
except there's no
it's-
pity point in playoffs.
Yeah.
Then
It's all heart and soul.
There it is.
then
It was
they come
something to
in.
build off of, and then Game 3 happened.
Yeah. Then they come into last night.
And then you play a back-to-back game with no goalie to switch.
Now, because it was back to back, and you lost in OT, I think Vladar should have got the start immediately.
Yeah,
I don't think they
thought.
want to throw a newbie into the net.
I don't give a shit. Halak is 35.
Yeah,
You really think after playing overtime, he's
Granted-
gonna play well the next game?
it
the
wasn't
next day?
a full period of OT.
It wasn't, but even still,
Yeah,
that
he
was
lost.
another. That
it was
was
a lot of
Yeah.
ice.
That was extra time that he
Yeah.
had to play. I mean, even playing a full just game and then going back to back, Vasilevsky can do it because he's like
Young.
25.
Yeah, when he's
Yeah.
30, he's not doing it.
No.
You don't.
Well, that's when they.
You don't
finally
do that
go
with
get
an
a
old
backup
goalie.
for
There
him.
it is.
So they go in, and the first mistake they made was starting Halak.
Yeah, like what was it? 3 was it 3-0 or 4-0 when they put in Vladar?
I think it was 4.
It was
Yeah,
4.
like I'd much rather put Vladar in at 0-0 and start
see
the
how he
game.
does.
Yeah, and see how he does over a full 60, rather than putting him in at 4-0 and put him in charge of manning the fort and hoping that the Bruins can come back.
See, now they might realize that now on, because
So-
there's probably going to be more back-to-backs in the future if we do get out of the... Well, now that the games are delayed, they might do back-to-backs.
I mean, so what I saw was big mistake. Halak comes in, and Tampa knew. They were like, yeah, this guy's he's tired.
Yeah, I mean, just put the rock on him and it'll
And
go
that's
in.
exactly what they did.
Yeah.
They did not let up. They just shot. Didn't matter if it was a shit shot or if it was a great shot. They shot.
Yeah, so
Oh, that's all you
Vladar
gotta
went in
do.
at 4-1.
So, yeah, it was 3-0. You can amount a comeback, and then Tampa was like, "That's funny."
Yeah, you saw it.
yeah, which
So Tampa scores again, and then I saw Vladar getting ready. I was like, he should have been in after the third goal, but whatever. Okay,
Yeah.
Vladar's coming in. Then it's 5-1.
Yeah,
Then it's 6-1, and it's like, listen, this is a guy who's never played in the NHL before. There's no need to go full sweat on him. Like, you can score on him.
Yeah.
There's absolutely zero need to go and do that.
See, the
That's
way
just, it's honestly kind of fucking rude.
I think Tampa just wanted to...
Yeah,
They
but
hate Boston, so they just
it's
wanted
just
to...
like
I don't care how
Hey,
much.
I know.
Like, no, I'm even thinking about, like, even in that situation, if I was the coach of Tampa, I would have told them lay off the gas. Like, if you piss Boston off, we're losing the next game. Or someone on our team is getting hurt. For sure. I wouldn't even be surprised if I'm Boston, you're looking at them, you're like, okay, now we're going to do something fucking stupid. Who's the best candidate to do something fucking stupid? Nick fucking Ritchie.
Yeah.
You have Nick Ritchie take a run at Vasilevsky.
Yep.
What's Ritchie's use? You have Trent Frederick.
He gets suspended, and you don't.
Whatever.
You
Yeah.
lose the guy you don't need.
You throw Trent Frederick
Yep,
on that line. That has the
Yep.
same effect, and Frederick adds skill. Now you're down Vasilevsky. What the fuck are you going to do now?
I was gonna say, look at body shots for point.
Hey, Kerr's back up, ain't he? He's going in.
Yeah, how'd that work out for Carolina last year?
Hey, man. Hey, man, don't worry about it, right? Don't worry about it.
So it's like you
That was last year.
want to poke the bear, you're gonna get fucking mauled. That's how it works.
I just want to see either McAvoy, DeBrusque, Krug, somebody just body.
No, I don't want to see any of them do anything stupid. Keep it legal. If
No,
you're
not
gonna-
saying stupid, but I want to see
If you're gonna take a
somebody get-
suspension, because this is what the fucking Blues did last year, and I know this, it was on purpose. Oscar Sundqvist threw a dirty hit on purpose, but he's expendable. You do it with a third or fourth liner, because
Yeah.
that's easily replaceable.
Yeah.
So
No, I mean, honestly, this will be a good test for McAvoy because he does walk that line.
oh, he does.
Like he loves playing physical, and he's learning from the best, D partner he could have. So he's walking
He
that
takes
line,
it a
and
little far, though.
this will be a good test for him as to see where his head is at in the moment, to see if he